What is up, everybody? Welcome in. It is Lo, your host, and we have the full team tonight with Brando, Alex, and Drew for your Vols ATB special edition of I Don't Give a Damn about the whole state of Alabama. We don't give a shit. We are 6-0. It has been 4 days, and I swear to God, it is not dimmed for 1 second the excitement behind this football team. I mean, let's see. Drew was there. Brando was there. I was there. Unfortunately, Alex was not there. But these are some of the greatest memories. Like this past weekend is hands down one of the best days of my life. And I know it's a college football game, but that just is what it is. There is nothing sweeter than this weekend for me. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. I've told everyone I've talked to about the game, like easily the best day of my life. Like being at the game, it was absolutely insane. Like when we went to the Spire tailgate, and like the environment there was absolutely insane. You could barely move. Shout out to them supplying all the free drinks and food. That was pretty crazy, pretty nice of them. Just leading up to it, man, the ball walk, like 70,000, bro. It's kind of like that one meme. It's like, who would have thought we'd be here? Not me, but I'm basking in the glory. I've been drinking from the keg of glory. We went a little hard pregame, but man, like it was just crazy. Like the energy in there in Neyland Stadium, from before kickoff, reaching 115 decibels, and at the end reaching 125.4, breaking the record and causing a seismograph earthquake kind of thing. That's absolutely insane. And I just thought it was crazy how we brought it, man. That was the best game I've ever been to. Best day of my life.
Oh my God. Top 3 best day of my life for sure. Easily the best, not just Tennessee game, football game, sporting event I've ever been a part of. That atmosphere, and it's like I told Brando before the show started, completely shitted on Ole Miss last year. I mean, I thought it'd be hard for us to top it off from just how everyone was excited about that one, but like it was unbelievable. I mean, it was like ear-wrenching even before kickoff, and it even got louder, especially in that fourth quarter, but unbelievable win. This is stuff that like literally you wouldn't even make up in movies. Just the way that we won as well. Unbelievable performances that we'll most especially talk about towards Jalen Hyatt. But my God, I don't give a flying fuck about the entire state of Alabama. And God damn it, it's great to be a Tennessee ball right now.
I mean, y'all still all the good stuff to say, but no, I mean, like y'all said, like I couldn't make it just due to travel and schedule with all that. But I've watched a lot of Tennessee football games where I said I never turned away. This was one I literally was watching commercials because I was so excited for the game to come back on. I was like, I need this commercial to hurry up and end. I'm going to just stay in here because I don't want to miss a single second of this. But to beating Bama, I missed. I drink a beer to it.
I love it. And it's in their colors, so piss on them.
Piss on them.
So we talked just a little bit about the environment. I told this story on Overtime the other night, but this is something that is like so in line with my life and what happens to me. I was so fired up for the game all week long, as I always am. I usually add my ticket to my wallet no later than Wednesday, tops. Well, I go to the Spire tailgate, as Brando mentioned. That was cool as hell. And then meet Juice Davis, and we go to his tailgate. So I get to meet a bunch of former players, literal legends. And then I make my way down to G10, and there's a band, and it is wild down there. And before I know it, I look down. I'm like, oh, it's time to walk into the stadium, 2:45 or so. I get up there. I'm in line. I look at my freaking wallet, and guess what is not in there? My damn electronic tickets. No electronic tickets to be found. I am literally plowing through thousands of people trying to enter the stadium to try and get to will call, to try and get some form of Wi-Fi or something, some way to get into this game. I have a full-fledged emotional breakdown even prior to the game. I think I'm not going to get in. I'm thinking I'm going to miss kickoff. And then it dawns on me that I'm going to get one of the only paper tickets handed out. And then I decided that I was going to settle down because I was like, I'm going to have a paper ticket for when we beat Bama's ass. Sure enough, I have that paper ticket. It is about to go in a frame with my cigar pick and hang on the wall of my new house. And what a perfect commemoration to the perfect day, the perfect win. And I don't care if it's one win. This win is literally just the beginning of this football team. Period. There's no question about it. We are going to the top. We are just now getting started. I can't even get over this.
Oh yeah, I mean it's absolutely crazy. Like leading up to it, trying to count on Neyland Stadium's Wi-Fi for one, that's a deal breaker in itself. But leading up to like the environment, like even if like me and Drew walked off, like it was so hard, like maybe 15-minute walks just to get to TBA, to get to the porta potties. It was like absolutely insane. And like I mentioned the Vol walk earlier, absolutely crazy packed. It still doesn't feel real, having a cigar. I smoked the Victory cigar, still got that, so that's going up in the frame for sure. I got a buddy who may or may not have a cool little item for me from on the field, and might be getting that sent to me, so that's going to be pretty cool. But man, it was just absolutely insane. And like this, go out there and to one, say you're back in general, but you put up 52 points on the so-called best team, the dynasty that's been built, that we've been fighting for 15 years to end. You put up 15 points. Josh Heupel, X's and O's, him and Alex Golesh went crazy, and just seeing our guys get wide open. It wasn't like Bama stumbled or anything. Like they were beating them across the middle, beat them, legit, like went absolutely bonkers at their DBs and exposed them. And it was just crazy to see their linebacker, Henry T being the worst PFF rated player. That was, great. And just to see like, Bama fall, like it's just crazy. And the reaction from them has not been well. But man, like this just proves going forward, no matter what happens, I know got to not look past anybody, but there's a legit shot that Tennessee can be a playoff contender. And, the highest expectations from us was like 10-2. So it's just crazy to see.
I mean, it's crazy to think that now we're like talking about the potential of not only an undefeated season, but we have the 6th best odds to win a national championship this year. Like, think about if you told us that back in August, especially on that kickoff show. I would have called you an absolute lunatic, and rightfully so. But, like, most points any team has scored in Alabama since 1907 against Sewanee, which I don't even know if Sewanee has a football team. I don't even know if they exist anymore. But, like, just the volumes that it just speaks for Josh Heupel and this team. And, and you see a lot of Alabama fans, especially the last couple of days, being like, oh, it's embarrassing that Tennessee fans stormed the field at us because we're the standard. We didn't storm the field. Like, here's things. Like, yeah, we stormed the field because we beat them, but you're talking about 15 years of frustration, just pain, mediocrity, heartbreak after heartbreak, not towards Alabama, but Florida, LSU, Georgia, all these teams, always been told that we're never going to be back again, that Tennessee's living in the past, their fans can't get over the 90s. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We're back. We are fucking back, and there's not a damn thing that anybody in college football can do about it. And if you thought this whole entire fan base was awful before, even this year, my God, you better hope we don't beat Georgia. I'm just telling you that right now, because this place will be insufferable for anyone that's not a Tennessee Vol fan.
See, that's the thing too, is like, I mean, it wasn't about beating Bama, because if you look at this game like isolated, it was number 3 versus number 6, and number 6 was at home. So like, yeah, if you have no historical context to this, then it's like, okay, like y'all are just a bunch of wiener heads. Like, what are you doing? But then we got somebody in the comments saying we literally went 3-7 2 years ago. Like that was the worst record we've ever posted in the history of our like entire existence, which also follows the 2 years before that when we posted another historic low, going 4-8 in a regular season. So I mean, it's like. And then again, there's the whole 15 years to that. There's the 2-16 against Florida now. There's Georgia whooping our ass every time. So it's like, no, this is like 20 years worth of pent up anger that we've been just holding on to. And like now the fact that we're actually coming around and like beating people, and they're like, oh, y'all need to act like you've been here. Well, honestly, some of us haven't. It's like some of us legit have.
No, but like hell's sake,
like shut the hell up, dude. It's sports. I'm gonna talk about shit.
Exactly. And I don't care if people are like, well, we need to act better class here. No, fuck that. I want everyone in the air, flicking everyone off like our baseball team. I want people to hate us because, you don't hate teams that suck. You hate teams that kick your – all right? I want that hatred. And I'm glad we're getting that because that really proves that everyone is terrified of us. And we haven't had that feeling in my life, in my 20 years. I know everyone else here hasn't had that feeling either.
You're right, Drew. Everyone is terrified of us. I want to pull up where I want to find this. Where did I get it today?
While you're looking for that, Lo, I'm gonna pose the question because I know this is where you're going. But one of our listeners, CK Fisher _3, is about to ask, when was the last time we've seen Bama meltdown like this after a loss? Maybe the kick six. So just think about that while Lo brings this up because I still wanted to get to some of that stuff too.
I don't know because it might have been last year against Texas A&M because I remember reading a story that someone shot their brother.
Oh my God!
But this fan base, though, I mean, you got to remember they have very low IQ. Okay, they're all inbreds. All right, so I mean, it makes a lot of sense as to why they shoot their cousins and their sons and all this stuff when they lose football games. Because, I mean, when you live in the state of Alabama, you got nothing else to look forward to because it's a complete hellhole. So,
I mean, from all the takes I've seen, bro, of, blaming the goalpost being short on one side that Chase kicked it on, or that they missed on, or the referee's hand motion when he went up with his hands to put a touchdown, to seeing everything else, man, it was just absolutely crazy. From Omari Thomas to the defensive pass interference, they think we got called, but all the penalties on them, but 3 were because of kneeling. It was because of noise in there, and they literally folded under pressure, and they had 2 delay of games that weren't even called when I went back and watched the film. It was just crazy to see. They were in shambles, and Will Anderson and Bryce Young said, they had major anxiety. And I thought it was crazy how Gerald Mincy kind of capped that off as nah, fam, you just suck. So
yeah.
Okay, so I couldn't find the exact description, but I cannot believe I didn't screenshot this. But you talk about everyone being scared of this. This was posted on one of the Georgia Dogs forums or whatever. And it was a 2-paragraph post about ensuring that you did not allow a Tennessee football fan anywhere near your home, even if they're your friend. Do not let them stay at your house for game week. Do not allow them to have a ticket. If they have a ticket, make sure that you burn the ticket because the Tennessee Volunteers are going to bring at least 50,000 people down to Athens, and that they have to make sure that their fans are just as loud there because they know that it's going to be the biggest game of the year. They called it the biggest game of the year. Yeah. Guess who the hell is in that game? Us. Tennessee Vols are in what Georgia is calling the biggest matchup of the year. They're terrified for us to enter their fucking stadium. I want to talk too about some of the the stats against this Alabama game though. So if you go back and look at this, sorry, I have so many screenshots from all of these hysterical tweets and shit. I can't get over it. Let's see.
I want to point on that stadium comment though. If Georgia's scared like that, they obviously saw what we did in Baton Rouge a couple weeks back. And if we go out there and do that, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Not even a day after we beat Bama, there's a viral TikTok of a Vols fan in the Georgia Stadium in Sanford Stadium right now. And it's the over intercom saying, evacuate the stadium like you're trespassing. And he's like, bro, the gates were open. We're already looking forward to that game. We got to take care of Kentucky first. Yeah. But when we play Georgia in Athens, they better pray that we haven't, had this game bought out by our fans months prior. Because if we show up, not just the 2,500 allotted, but it's going to be 15,000, 20,000 Vols fans, and it's going to be crazy.
I know of one singular Vol fan who bought 12 tickets 4 weeks ago. I have tickets. I mean, I know of a ton of people. But going back to this Alabama game, just to prove how elite this offense is, Tennessee was averaging 46.8 points per game leading into the Alabama game. The Tide had the number 2 scoring defense in the entire SEC. And now, after that game, Tennessee is averaging 47.7 points per game. When in the hell did you guys ever think that our scoring average would go up against Alabama?
Well, to be honest, the Heupel offense, seeing it the first year and this year, the first big game I think was against LSU, how he scored 40. But before that, my only expectations for SEC games was 38 points, 30 plus. because, that's just how we had to be in a dogfight with teams. We would blow out FCS teams. But now year 2 is installed. You have the front runner quarterback for the Heisman, Hendon Hooker, according to ESPN today. And just to see how it went out, like to touch back on my comments earlier about the game plan and like how Heupel and them slashed them, they were ranked the number 2 defense, and Tennessee went out there and exposed them. And this is absolutely crazy to see, like, the installments, the in-game adjustments, to get people open. Like I said pre-show, like it wasn't just guys, getting lucky on plays of Bama players falling down and, being misaligned. Like they were going across the middle and gashing these guys, these 5-star talents. And Jalen Hyatt, Hotel Hyatt or Hyatt place, whatever, he's always open, man. It was just crazy to see him step up and just have a day. Like we went out there and had the perfect game plan. Like he slashed them.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. But like, one group of people we haven't talked about enough from this Tennessee team is our offensive line, guys.
Amen.
We allowed 1 sack and 2 tackle for losses, and especially against an unbelievable front seven that Alabama has. I mean, at least 3 or 4 guys are going to be going to the pros next year for sure. It speaks volumes, and especially when Darnell Wright is playing different positions and everything. Like it's unbelievable. But not even on top of that, though, guys, we're still missing Cedric Tillman. I mean, like we're still missing probably like the second most important guy on our offense as far as talent goes. So that has to be terrifying for any defense to know, just to think, my God, like, not only they torched Alabama, but they did it without even their best wide receiver and arguably their best offensive player as well. And so it's just unreal. This team just gets better and better. And I mean, you got to pray for the coal miners in 2 weeks when they come down here. I mean, my God, it's going to be a damn funeral for them. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, one thing we did talk about, though, leading into the LSU game and definitely leading into this one, is how fast of a start we needed to get off to, because we did start a little bit slow in our earlier weeks. But, I mean, there was the whole botched kick and then the punt return against LSU, so we got up 10-0 quick. But, I mean, when have we ever put on 21 on Bama and under like 8 minutes in the first quarter? I think we were up 28-14 at the end of the first.
28-10.
28-10. I mean, like, when does this ever happen, And it's like, oh, shit, like we're already down like 2.5 touchdowns. Like we got to do something. When have we ever had Alabama playing on their heels like that?
No. I don't know. I wanted to – that was something that I brought up literally at the game. I was like, when have we scored this much on Alabama in the first quarter? I couldn't find it. I don't know if it's ever happened, to be quite honest with you. It might be at first.
And it happened so consistently too. Like we would get stopped, but then we'd stop them and then come right back and score. There was never a time where I didn't feel like our offense wasn't going to move the ball against them, which again has not happened in like at least our lifetime. And then there's a time when Hendon and Jabari fumbled, and I mean Tennessee teams of old, that would have ended them. They would have folded, and then Bama would have put up 2 or 3 more touchdowns, and then they would have went about their merry way. But I mean, there was never a point in time in this game where I was like, yeah, we're done. Like, just throw in the towel. I mean, any punch we took, we'd get back up and we throw another one. And, I mean, you just can't really ask for much more from us.
Most honorable, worth mentioning, Alex, not only you mentioned that fumble, which looked like just a miscommunication. They didn't know if they were going to fake it or take it, run play. But, Hendon also threw that interception. So we had 2 turnovers. But we only had 6 penalties for 39 yards, and everyone keeps complaining about the penalty offset and how Alabama, they had their most ever in entire program history. They should have had more, and in fact, they got gifted 7 points on the damn scoreboard when that should have been offensive pass interference on Alabama instead of defensive, and even the CBS commentators caught that shit. Also worth noting, I always love looking at the time of possession because this is just remarkable to me. We had the ball 22 minutes, 31 seconds to Alabama's 37 minutes, 29 seconds. Still, we basically forced them to play our game every single time, every single play. And then we were also able, when we needed to really slow down, especially in that fourth quarter, that really nice sustained drive. I mean, everything was picture perfect. No one looked nervous. I mean, we went down, when we went down and had that fumble, I did like been down for like a full minute because I was so sad because I was like, I still had faith, but I was like, please don't let it happen. Like, oh, my watch is getting in on the conversation. I was like, please don't let this happen like this. This team deserves it all. And then I was like, you know what? You said it from the moment you walked in here. They're going to win. And I'll be damned if they didn't just storm right back down the field and do what they needed to do again. It's really incredible. I mean, to be mid-season, like literally halfway through the season, and this team has the biggest pair of balls I've ever seen in my life, and so does Coach Heupel too. It's incredible.
Brando, microphone.
Okay, I thought I thought it was really key when Jabari got in, and then after that drive, Jalen on the option, from Hendon on that little run into the end zone. Tennessee red zone offense, they're still 100% on the season, and they continue that streak against Alabama. That's absolutely crazy. Like when you get inside and that close, like Heupel's going to dial something up, expose your defense, whatever your formation is. He's going to audible it, and he's going to get something going, and it's worked every single time. But I also wanted to give a shout out to our rush defense. Everyone talks about Bryce Young, but another thing has been Jahmyr Gibbs, being a Heisman contender with his running ability. Tennessee held him to 114 rushing yards, like in total for Alabama. That's absolutely insane. There's a lot of guys that made a lot of names for themselves and a lot of money for the future going into the NFL draft if they decide to go. But man, like Amari Thomas, Danico Slaughter, guys on the defense that stepped up when, we didn't have veteran guys and we were kind of worried about that. Heck, we even had a walk-on DB out there at once. And like, it just proves to the point that like Heupel's doing this, 30 players down, the NCAA thing, now it doesn't even have a full 85-man roster, only one class in. And he went out there and game planned and scripted, put up 52 points, but, just completely stopped them when it mattered too. And it was crazy. Like, to see Nick Saban try to take as many points as he could and not go the route as other coaches, trying to go for it on fourth down. He was kicking field goals, trying to take the points. That's where it kind of bit him because Tennessee went out there and, went up 28-10 in the first quarter. And then later, when he tried to kick that ball, like I think if, Bama gets closer, they could have and, probably won. But to see like us come out with that, the best kick of all time, Chase McGrath getting the seal of the win. Like that guy is a legend, winning the Rose Bowl and now coming and, beating Bama in the, third Saturday of October. That's just W.
The one thing that really surprised me as well is like, I don't know about y'all from last year, but like I was always a little bit hesitant when we were in the red zone within 5 yards because we would always be from the shotgun. So seeing us be in the I formation there and like getting Princeton Fant as a fullback, get in, like I thought that was awesome just because you would never expect that from Josh Heupel in this offense. But like speaking of Princeton Fant, I felt like he's bounced back big time, especially the last couple of weeks. That huge rushing touchdown he had in the first quarter. And that 2-point conversion as well from that shuffle pass that Hendon Hooker had, which really, I think, skyrocketed our confidence, especially jumping from a 5-point to a 7-point lead. And I think that was like a huge game changer more than anything else. And especially, I'm sure Chase McGrath was, taking a big sigh of relief after missing that extra point. But, man, 15 years, guys, 15 years of heartache, fucking finally over. And, I mean, we're talking about not only, the championship appearance, but hell, a national title. Who knows? I mean, it's just fucking crazy.
Hey, and the fact that like we're not delusional entertaining the idea of football playoffs. Like we're actually like of sound mind when we're saying this because I saw some. I don't know who retweeted it. It might have been you, Lo, honestly, but it was like before the game on Saturday, we had like a 22% chance of getting in, and beating them put it up to like 50%. Like the way this could play out would be absolutely incredible. And I feel like more often than not right now, as it stands, we end up in the playoffs. And like when have we ever been able to say that?
I don't know.
Legit.
I do want to dive into that because I have a ton of stats on that. But I wanted to give a highlight to two of my favorite player posts on social media after the win. My first favorite was Jeremiah Crawford, who posted two like awesome photos, a field photo, another field photo, and then his video throwing up, basically talking shit in throw up form to the Alabama sideline is just absolutely all time. He says, "Them boys you don't want to beef with." I absolutely freaking love that. I mean, and then the next one, is Jeremy Banks, who says, "Glory to God, this is why we came here, bro, and 100,000 fans bringing music to my ears." That's a big fuck you to Henry To'o right there. I love that shit. Troll him right back.
Yeah.
That puts me in such a great mood to see that. But you're talking playoff. Let's talk playoff. So everyone's talking about Ohio State, Tennessee being like the top two offenses, probably the best shot at the playoffs logistically. But Ohio State, as of today, is the same record as us, 6-0. They've been top three all year. They've received 17 number one votes. They have not played one top 25 team. And they have 2 wins against Arkansas State and Toledo. Okay. Then everyone, you look at this, and this is, I'm pretty sure this is from a verified source, but I can't quote all of this shit 100%. But if you look at the strength of records, so from week 0 all the way to now, Georgia is 4th, Ohio State is 7th, Tennessee is 1st, and Michigan is 3rd. If you look at the strength of schedule overall, Georgia is 76th, Ohio State is 82nd, Tennessee is 12th, Michigan is 73rd. And if you look at the remaining strength of schedule, then Georgia is 14th, Ohio State is 21st, Tennessee is 13th, and Michigan is 17th. When you hear those numbers, the AP poll voters probably don't give a shit about any of that. But I know that the College Football Playoff Committee sure does. And everyone keeps trying to give these scenarios about, well, would it be better for us to lose to Georgia or this or that or the other? At some point, our strength of schedule is going to have to come into fucking play. And I know it's not going to come into play with the AP voters, but I can't decide what scenario would be best. But what I can say is that there is no way in hell, in my personal opinion, by listening to that, looking at the stats, looking at our schedule, looking at our wins, etc., that we should not be number one right now. And I want to hear everyone's legitimate opinion on this.
Yeah, I would say, I think this week we got 15 first place votes, like 15 of them, and Ohio State got 17. So, I mean, we're kind of there, but I agree whenever it comes to the College Football Playoff Committee, like it's going to be a whole different thing. I would be shocked next week when the official, beginning of that starts if Tennessee isn't number one just with our wins, going into Baton Rouge, beating Bama, beating Florida. Those are huge games. All of our teams that we've beaten are above 500 besides Akron, who's just a poverty program. And other than that, I mean, there's just no way. Like going forward, like you're going to beat a really good Kentucky team that, has made some mistakes, should be a top 10 team, but they're Kentucky. And, you got UT Martin this week, that's 7-0, 8-0. You keep going, you take care of business. Like even if you do down the line, if we're going to look ahead, say you do like lose that game, if Georgia beats Bama in the SEC championship, even if they lose, like there's still an arguable conversation with Tennessee's strength of schedule and who they beat and play that they should get in. Like there's just no way. And it's going to be hard to deny that. I know there's only 4 spots, but like we have the best resume. There's no one's strength of schedule compared to ours. And we go out there and we have the number one offense. We're leading in all countries, like all categories. And it's hard to deny.
No, I mean, like I would agree with that. I mean, as far as like what's the best route in order to make sure that we make the playoff is just, I mean, I don't know, guys, just win every fucking game. Like, just win, just win. Just win it. But I mean, as far as the AP, though, like you also got to remember that like Ohio State was in a bye week, and just traditionally the way polls work, they don't, even as big of a win it is of beating a number 2 or a number 3, they're not going to bounce a number 1 team off the number 1 spot based on the bye week. Because I mean, in their argument, that's a little bit unfair because if the roles were reversed, we would be racist about it, and rightfully so. But even if you lose Georgia, you gotta have to have Georgia beat Alabama, because if Bama wins the SEC championship and they're 11-1, then you have an 11-1 Georgia, and then you have 11-1 Tennessee. They're going to go with the SEC champion every single time, automatic bid, no matter what. But then you're also going to have to look at Georgia and be like, well, they went undefeated in the regular season and they lost in the SEC title game. Tennessee lost to Georgia, and then we get the can. But even regardless, I mean, guys, the fact that we're even talking about this is like absolutely insane. I mean, like, so it's just cool to finally hear Tennessee even be in the conversation about making a college football playoff or even the SEC title game for that matter. So
Yeah.
we're in good hands. We're definitely.
No, well, I think you brought up good stats talking about what Ohio State's done this season. You said they didn't beat one top 25 team. They did beat one team that's above 500, and everybody else is not. Rutgers, a solid program, is 3-3. Notre Dame, solid program, is 3-3. Wisconsin's 3-4, and then Michigan State's 2-4. And good old Butch Jones's Arkansas State Red Wolves are 2-5. So I don't know how you look at that team and you say 17 people really got together and were like they're number one. Like that doesn't make any sense to me when you've got us who have won 4 top 25 games and just come off a walk-off win against Bama. It just doesn't make sense.
Well,
But,
Well,
if you talk to anyone on Twitter, they would say, "Oh, it only counts if they're ranked the next week." What a fucking crock of shit is that? I'm sorry, but what in the hell kind of logic is that?
I will make this argument just because I had all of those people, especially Clemson and Ohio State fans, blow out my mention 2 weeks ago about that comment. I will say, like, the Pittsburgh win, like, you know, it's good that we beat them for sure because they don't look good at all. I mean, they got housed by fucking Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is trash. I mean, they're horrible. You know, in Florida allowed 45 points to LSU, and LSU's offense ain't worth a damn. You know, so. But even besides that, though, I mean, it's still Ohio State's resume is still terrible. I mean, you know, like it's just it always will be because the Big Ten is an overrated conference. They don't play anybody. They never do. I mean, they're playing fucking Iowa this Saturday, and Iowa's horrible. So, but they'll have to lose the game in order for us to get that number one spot. And I think honestly, regardless, if we beat Georgia on the road. Who gives a shit? I mean, like that solidifies our spot in the playoff. Like you beat Georgia, we're in. We're in no matter what. Even if we lose the SEC title game, it does not matter. We're automatically in. So
I feel that.
just the
I'm just
impression
gonna.
that. And there's only one time of the year where number one matters, and it's when we win the fucking national championship at the very end in January.
Listen, I'm just gonna say it, man. Like I'm fully bought in. Like I definitely think we're going to Sanford Stadium and beating Georgia, and our crowd's going to show up. Like we said, like that environment's not only going to be dangerous, but you know people are going to be barking at us. But we can do the talking on the field. This offense, just to point out, like Ohio State, everyone raves about their offense, but to point at our strength of schedule, like we're doing it against top 10 teams, top 25 teams, and we're going out there and putting a statement. 52 on Alabama. None of us had 52 points in our prediction. If I would have said that we're going to score 50 points on Bama last week on last Wednesday's show before the fucking game, there's no way. And like, I think we were all confident that we had to go in there. We had a chance to win, but you know, our offense, like Heupel outcoached Nick Saban, one of the best in the game. Like he completely outcoached him. He was throwing tantrums on the sideline after they muffed that punt. Like it was beautiful content to see. And it's just, you know, crazy. I think no matter what, this team is going to go out there with an edge. And even Hendon Hooker said locked in, like we're just looking forward to the next game. And they truly mean that. Like whenever he came back last year, him and Heupel said, let's go to Atlanta. And they're really trying to do that. And I think we're going to take care of Georgia, go to Georgia, and play Bama again. Henry To'oTo'o said we'll see him again, but I think it's going to be the same outcome. And I truly think this might be the year. Like, who would have thought we'd be in freaking natty contention, man? Like, top three, it's insane.
I can't. If this happens, if the Vols pull this off, it's a new fucking tattoo for me, 100%. There's no way around it. Probably not going to be an ass tat. It'll be somewhere even more obvious.
Hey, screw that. Hey, if we win the national championship, there's going to be a power T on my left butt cheek, and it'll be there as soon as we win.
I'm putting something somewhere obvious because I want to shove it in everyone's faces every time. I'm doing it if it happens. But y'all, okay, so everyone thinks that I guess the best pathway is obviously to win all of our games. I certainly think that we can beat Georgia, that he is no Bryce Young at all. They can't keep up with us offensively. But no one thought about the possibility, and I do think this is a possibility because Bama is down right now. What if we played Ole Miss?
See, wait, that's what I was kind of going to get to that. There's a scenario we lose to Georgia. Georgia goes to the SEC championship game. Bama loses to Ole Miss. Then Ole Miss loses to Georgia in the SEC championship game, and you've got like 2 12-1s and 2 11-1s from the same conference.
Oh, shit.
Or even
How
more,
wild would that be?
Ole Miss beats Bama, and then
Wait, that's what I said. I thought.
no, you said something else. I think.
Oh, sorry. Ole Miss beats Bama. Yes. Ole Miss and Georgia
Ole Miss
go to the championship game.
Bama.
Georgia,
Ole Miss and Georgia. It's gonna be Ole Miss and Tennessee.
we beat Georgia. We both meet up in the SEC championship. That they would need like 10,000 fucking security guards for a game like that after last year, maybe even more.
You're also talking about the possibility, if that happened, that we would more than likely play Georgia in the college football playoff as a 1 and 4. So, which is even my
I
mind.
like that.
So,
God dang.
They'll probably set it
I
up.
mean,
though, to
I don't really
avoid
care.
rematches because that's. I mean, they've been doing that. They've been trying to avoid rematches like the plague. So
I really don't care who we're playing. Like, I think all last year we begged, like, if this defense could be a single bit better, and they have in the rushing game. I know we're getting gashed passing by elite quarterbacks, but in the rushing game, like, we're locking these people down and making them go all the way down the field and still stopping them, which is pretty much working. And we beg for that. Our offense is out there exceeding expectations from last year. Definitely year 2 numbers, whenever it's said and done, is going to be astronomically better than year 1. And I think no matter who we play, like, we're going to go out there and score points. We're going to go out there and make you have to play and change your game plan, which we saw with Nick Saban, Billy Napier, and now Brian Kelly. Like, all 3 of them, elite head coaches that had to go out of their game of how they've coached for years and decades and to adjust to this offense. Like, he's going out there and playing chess on these teams. Like, it's crazy to see. And I truly don't think anyone can keep up. I just don't think anyone has the talent with our defense is underrated. I'm going to say it.
quick plug: Brian Kelly had our offense figured out, though.
I will not agree that our defense is underrated. Our defense, outside of literally our front 7, is fucking trash. It's facts. I mean, our dude, freaking Bryce Young threw 450 yards on us, and Anthony Richardson threw over 400 yards against us. Like, we need to pep this a little bit. All right? Like, I agree, our offense fucking rocks. We're great, but our defense, let's be real, is trash.
Let me give you a little bit of rebuttal with that, Drew. Statistically, like looking at the stats, yeah, it looks fucking terrible, but these guys are feeding off of the energy of the offense and are still coming down when they absolutely have to. We had a walk-on in against Alabama in the most important drive of the entire fucking game. And we held them to a field goal attempt, and they missed it. That is incredible. That never happens to us, ever. So, yes, statistically, it looks bad. However, they are feeding off the energy of everyone else on that damn football field and on that sideline to somehow get it done. And that's all that matters.
I agree with that, but that's also because we probably will wind up, I think a lot of people will agree, with the greatest offense in the history of college football. Now, I mean, we're seeing it right now. But I'm just saying, the only team that I think where I would be a little bit nervous about, where I think they would keep up with us offensively, is Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Like, their defense isn't great, but man, their offense is like unreal. And CJ Stroud's like freaking stupid. I mean, there's a reason why he's a Heisman. But that is the only team I could see where we would lose to them. Georgia, they got a better defense than Alabama, but even then, I mean, I still have zero doubt that we won't at least drop 45 on them either. So, but regardless, guys, I mean, we're going to be in the playoff. It's like, it's fucking nuts.
I was going to say,
we're going to the college football playoffs. We're going to the SEC championship.
I'm already like putting down some pretty hardcore bets, trying to fund my way there. Today I figured out how to put myself on a waiting list for tickets for the playoffs. I am locked in, man.
I need those. I need that link.
Drop the link.
Send it in the group chat.
I am going.
I'm looking at you, Ron.
I mean, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if we make it, I'm going. I don't give a shit.
Hopefully Ronnie's listening. So
that's what I'm saying.
I hope so.
It's no, it's like.
Ronnie, this is a business trip.
Right.
Literally, he talked about sending us to Maui. No, send us to the college football playoff. I will sacrifice the Maui trip for just like the playoffs for sure.
Easily.
But to point out like about our offense, man, this is absolutely crazy. Tennessee, their Instagram posted this. Like, we're the only school in the country to average 320 passing yards and 200 rushing yards per game. Tennessee has scored 40 times this season, or 40 points 4 times this season, 11 times under Heupel. We scored 30 points in 9 straight games. 52 points, most points against an AP top 25 opponent in program history. 50 points. Tennessee has scored 50 points 3 times this season, 6 times under Heupel. We begged for an offense, but he's going out there, and with what he's got on both sides of the ball, he's not even giving teams a chance to keep up. Like, you have to have elite talent, and you saw it this past weekend with all the loaded classes. How many number 1 classes has Bama had? Josh was only 1 under his belt. All the people that left, transferred, including Henry T, all the talent gone, and he went out there and exposed them. Like, it was not even close, to be honest. Like, he went out there and put him in the dirt.
God dang, it's just incredible. We can do anything for this man. I don't care. He has to stay. This guy's a legend.
How awesome is it knowing as well that like Henry T walking back to the bus, crying in tears at the same time Derek Dooley's goofy ass leads.
That was fucking crazy when I saw that, bro.
So embarrassing while he's making his firm $31,000 a year over there as an analyst.
As an analyst.
Just like, I mean, it's we've come full circle, guys. I mean, those are 2 individuals that were higher ups of the football program when we were at our rock bottom. And here we are, crying tears, eating microwave spaghetti after L's, just fucking chugging Tito's.
Chugging Tito's.
Bro, it's the decade of the Vols. Like, I can't help. I've been drinking since Saturday. I mean, fuck.
Oh my God. Brando's just like, I don't need a mixer. F it. It's Wednesday.
Brando's afraid to drink a beer, but he'll chug Tito's. So
that is a fact. I had my first beer this past Saturday at the tailgate, and it was a Bold Rock Apple. It was beautiful, though.
That is not a beer.
Can we just point that out? I just want to talk about that, like the hospitality, man. Like, Spire is the GOAT. Like, what they're doing every tailgate, like the environment, the energy. You know, Circle Park was freaking lit. It was lit up from Fox Sports showing up. Everything, like, the vibes were crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna bask in the glory. I'm gonna continue the streak because, like, bro, we beat Alabama. 52 points on Nick Saban's head. He cried. Tears.
All of it.
So, yeah, fuck a chaser. I mean.
Wait, I did kind of want to talk about something, too, though. You know how – so, obviously, number 10 from Bama decided to – like, they made that pregame video, and he was talking like, this is just business as usual.
Princeton fan.
Like, okay, that's cool and all. But then, like, I respect our social media team so much by everything they posted just being some petty ass shit. Like, they had Princeton fan in the locker room after the game, like, it's just business. It's just business. I was like, come on, man, post it everywhere. Post it everywhere. I want to see that shit because they like, people say they don't care about beating us, but then they do like pregame videos of players that transfer from us talking about us. Like, y'all talk about us just as much as we talk about y'all, so I just don't want to hear it. But I love the pettiness in our stuff. Also, shout out to Neyland Stadium for the second the clock going off and we winning. They are blaring Dixieland a lot.
That
was a dream. It didn't feel real,
and then
bro.
that song came on TV, and I was like, "Turn that shit up!" I got
fucking chills, bro.
I have chills the whole game. I need that version of the fans singing that on Spotify, like, so I can play it on my way to work every fucking day. It was beautiful.
Bro.
The side chant was on point and just as loud as the regular song. It was absolutely beautiful. That needs to be clipped in its entirety and put on Spotify as a new version. I want it as my damn ringtone.
It was beautiful.
I joked about that, like, oh man, how great would it be if, like, Dixieland Delight, like, at this game, and like as soon as they played, I was like, holy fuck, like, just literally the whole entire crowd, literally them bringing down the field goal in the middle of the fiddle solo, like everything about that was like unfucking real. I mean, literally now every single time I hear that damn song, I get like a little teary eye almost because I'm like, it just brings you back instantly to that moment, just seeing 30,000, fucking raging Vol fans just tearing down field goal posts after beating Bama on a walk-off field goal. Like, it's just, god damn it, dude. I want to relive that. Like, I want to relive that so bad.
Bro, we really, like, retook our song, like Dixieland Delight. It's a song about Tennessee. It always has been. Like I even added the freaking thing at the bottom, the little banner. Like it's a song about Tennessee. And bro, like to have that, the whole thing, like it was iconic. I literally freaked out to my mom, like, bro, like they're actually gonna play it. Like they were actually playing it. It was just crazy. Everyone rushing the field, the scenes, then watching the Heupel's press conference after I got home and like that whole thing going on there, the environment there. It was just insane, man. Like pandemonium. Shout out. We finally have an athletic director and a president that understand what to do at Tennessee. Randy Boyd saying, I'll pay that fine every time. Fans running on the field. I had someone tell me they talked to Danny White and said, thank you for everything. He said, y'all deserve this. It's like my pleasure. And like, just to see guys that understood what was a task, finally buy into like what we've been asked in the fan run, like it's turned out. And like now we're 6-0. We're doing unheard things. Like I would have never believed that we'd be 6-0. I know I predicted like probably 5-1, but it's crazy, man. Like absolutely insane, bonkers. And it didn't feel real. I still look at it every day to make sure we won.
I know.
I was there.
It's so crazy. Did y'all went down on the field, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Literally, I was bawling so much tears, and like it was such shock that like everything I just saw, like I couldn't even physically move. Like
Yeah.
I just literally just soaked it all in. I couldn't do anything because literally it didn't even seem real. Like especially once we hit that field goal, it literally felt like I wasn't even there. If that makes any sense, like those.
Yeah. I feel that actually. It took me a while to get on the field.
It did not for me. I went I don't know. I totally, and I shit you not, you say it's like it wasn't even there. I completely blacked out. Y'all saw my reaction video. I just went, I was only in row 6. So I just followed everyone else and went sprinting down, and I put my hand and my knee on the concrete, and I scraped it all up to hell and leaped off the top. And I was like, oh my God, like, how did I not tear something? It's like 6.5 feet tall. And I just flew off the top of that thing. And now I've still got my little scrape over here that from the concrete. I'm hoping it scars so that I can say that that is from leaping over the concrete barrier when Tennessee finally fucking beat Alabama again.
I'm going to explain this. So, like, my timeline was Bama, drives on the field, gets in field goal range. At that point, when that happens, my head's down in my lap. I stand up for the field goal, wide left. They miss it. Absolutely crazy. I'm freaking out. I can't take it. What's going on? I look down for one play, and I want to mention this drive. The last drive of the game, Josh Heupel and Hendon Hooker setting up 2 plays to get in the field goal range was the Heisman moment for Hendon Hooker this year. That man went bonkers. Brew McCoy somehow making that catch on the double clutch and double coverage, being his biggest plays of all yet. And, I'm so happy for him to come from USC and experience this kind of moment where people wouldn't show up in their stadium, and to have 101,915 people screaming your name and screaming Brew. That's just crazy. But to set that up, I didn't think, I thought the game was going to overtime. I literally looked down and I looked up, and Chase McGrath is kicking the game-winning field goal. And I literally got sick. And the first thing I did after I took the video was light it up. I didn't care about my Instagram post. I didn't care about the social media. I lit up the cigar, and just tears, man. Like, it was crazy. I still say it's the best day of my life. And, then after it got unpacked, everyone was on the field. I went down there, soaked it all in, walked around for like 30, 45 minutes. I think the game ended at like 7, 8 o'clock. I didn't leave Knoxville to go back to Nashville to about 2 a.m. And I didn't go anywhere after Neyland Stadium. So it was just crazy, like, to be around y'all pregame, soak that all in. Like, I couldn't believe it. My first Bama game, my first Florida game, 2-0 in the biggest series of my life. Like, it's crazy. This team is special. They're the number 1 offense, the best team in the country, if you ask me, including our resume. And I would have never thought that we'd have all around athletically, baseball, the number 1 best head coach, Rick Barnes winning, coach of the year, freaking Josh Heupel. If he doesn't win coach of the year, it's fucking rigged. That man is a living legend, and it's crazy, man. Like, everyone's realizing how wrong they were, including our fans and the national media. And if we go out there and pull it off this year, if this year is the start of the decade of the Vols, it's going to be absolutely crazy. And let me tell you, these recruits, they're freaking taking notice, not just the 2023 class, including 5-star David Hobbs and Bison, who were there cheering on the Vols. Like, David was down to Tennessee and Alabama, and I think this game might have pushed it to the limit to make David Hobbs be a Vol. And just including the in-state class of 2024, Steve Wiltfong has made it no surprise. 4-star linebacker, number 9 linebacker in the country, Edwin Spillman, Caleb Beasley, a top 10 corner from Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Marcus Gore and Boo Carter, all 4 Tennessee in-state prospects, the 4 best prospects in the state of Tennessee for the class, all crystal ball right now to be to Tennessee after that game. And, to lock down the state, what Jeremy Pruitt couldn't do, what Butch couldn't do, what they all failed to do to really lock it down. This is a great class to do it. And, just to see not only us, but the future, kids never had a blueprint. I was 6 years old the last time we beat Bama. So these recruits, they were 4, 5, 3. And, for them to even have the glimpse of Tennessee being great this year, I think that is going to be astronomically huge recruiting down the line. It really is going to skyrocket how close and how fast Tennessee can get back. And we're back now.
We are. We're back right now. There's no we may be back. We may be back. There is no we may be back. We're fucking back. And it is incredible. It has happened faster than anyone ever thought. All of us, we never thought it. If you would have told me any of this would have happened, if I would have been down on the field smoking victory cigars with my parents, this shit is just incredible. There's absolutely nothing like it, and we're just getting started. I hope everyone has tears in their beers. I want every fan base to feel the wrath of Tennessee being at the top again, and they're about to. And I've said it. I said this could be the decade of the Vols, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it now, maybe 4 years, but this is going to be it.
And we deserve this shit more than anything else. And because what we've had to go through, hearing, moronic coaches comparing us, whether if it was Dooley comparing us to the Germans on D-Day, or Butch Jones saying it takes 7 or 8 years to build a successful program, and talking about, energy vampires, and then having a head coach like Jeremy Pruitt that didn't even know what fucking asparagus was, and losing to Georgia State at home. We have gone through hell and back and been through so much shit and heartache. We fucking deserve this more than anyone else. And quite honestly, like I said at the start of the show, the hell of the class. Be as blunt and arrogant and rude as possible. We had a lady this morning, matter of fact, girlfriend and I went to go have some lunch at the Crack Barrel today, right? Old lady, 90-year-old, she goes in my face and she's like, roll Tide. And without even hesitating, Sarah goes over and she's like, roll over. So I'm all about the hate. I'm all about the we need that energy. We're fucking back, baby.
Listen, Drew.
Oh my God, I love that.
Drew, he fell in a helmet, and that's what happened, okay?
Guys, in Heupel proves more than anything else, you don't need 6, 7, 8 years to build a championship team. This fucker's done it in less than 2 years. It's unbelievable. And that's what big-time coaches do. Saban did that. Urban Meyer did that. Kirby Smart did that. And Josh Heupel, in my opinion, deserves to be in the same class as those 3 people right there.
I know that we put the whole nation on watch. Everyone was cheering for Tennessee for the amount of people that hate Alabama, to be honest. But, man, I saw the perfect meme, and it was if you weren't with me when we got knocked off by Georgia State, you're not here with me with Josh Heupel. This is absolutely crazy, the amount of things we've been insufferable. I haven't even seen all of it, but, under Butch, Pruitt, everyone else, Dooley, it was crazy to grow up in and, have a guy come in here, like you said, in 2 years, #1 offense in the country for guys that he's strapped together. He doesn't even have his 5-star quarterback. He has one in Taven Jackson, 4-star, but he hasn't even seen the surface yet. And, to see his system, just to get forward, the amount of recruits on the edge and the corner that were just, racking up, guys buying in now at the wide receiver position, it's only the surface. And I think, years down the road, I just don't think anyone's going to be able to have the answer for this offense. I know they're saying eventually we're going to stop it, or Heupel's going to leave. That's been the Bama fans' excuse, saying, he'll be gone in 2 years. But I think you're going to understand, this is the kickstart. This man's going to be here for a long, long time. And it's great to finally say that about it. 1, a head coach, but 2, be confident in the talent and the scheme that kids are going to buy in. And you're going to be able to do this reload and go out there and scheme against these teams. And you've proven you can out-coach these guys. You don't need the talent. You're going to go out there and out-coach these guys no matter what they put on the field. And if he's in his prime, Josh Heupel might be the best coach in college football. I'm just going to say it realistically. It's realistic. He's going out there and making these guys look like children. It's crazy.
Well, interesting comment here. Rev_Skitty. He says, since there is technically no 0 year, And decades start in years that end in one. So 2021 starts decade ? Decade of the Vols.
Well, I mean, Jeremy Pruitt was right that this would be the decade of the Vols. He just not involved him though. So, but I mean, it's hard not to think this will not be the decade of the Vols. I mean, not just for football, but my God, for every other sport too. Whether if it's Lady Vols basketball, men's basketball, if that preseason number 11 ranking too, baseball, obviously, drop and
all right here.
I was gonna say I saw something crazy. We have like 8 sports ranked in the top 25 or something.
I've got it right here because I
including long jumping. Like what the fuck?
So this is, and then there was more honorable mentions that weren't even on this list. Number 2, Vol baseball. Number 3, Vol football. Number 5, Lady Vol hoops. Number 5, Vol tennis. Number 6, Vol golf. Number 7, Lady Vol swim. Number 11, Vol hoops. Number 13, Vol swim dive. Number 16, Vol soccer. Top 25 Vol softball team. We also won the cornhole national championships and rugby. What the hell is going on at this university?
It's the Danny White effect. I mean, this guy comes in, he values athletics, and he's dished around. Like, I know when all the cuts happen because of whatever the COVID funds, but like he dished it around perfectly. Like, he doesn't let down, even though the focus has been on football and getting us back. Like, he's shown so much love, locking down Tony Vitello, letting Rick Barnes do his thing NIL wise, and like everything else has been clicking. Like the university athletics, like he's bringing it, and like he had the track record of doing it at a Group of 5 school like UCF. But, to come into the SEC, like he's doing, like his family's known for being in that position. I think he might be like the best family member over Mikey White and his dad, who was the AD at Duke. Like he's absolutely running things. And it's just like an incredible year for him, like a career building on him. Like he's building a dynasty in all athletics. And it's just, he values everybody. The social media impact for every single team has been huge. And I think like overall, like it's making the fans buy in. I think we're going to have like multiple sports where you saw last year with baseball, you've seen TBA get sold out, even women's sports and everything else. Like no matter who it is, it's like Vols, like they're the topic of no matter what you're going to do. And it's just huge to see. Like I've been looking forward to the rugby scores because they play every Friday before Tennessee, and to see them beat LSU and Bama before we did. I mean, it was pretty cool to see. So, all around, like it's just crazy how important it's made an impact on. Like he's doing a great thing. And I think we have to look at that. Like it's been a while since we had competent leadership all around, not just head coaches, but leadership at the athletic university level that understand what to do. And that includes Plowman, Danny White, Randy Boyd, all of them.
There's no doubt about it. I know that we could all probably talk about this for like 6 more hours straight, to be quite honest. But I do think it's important that we talk about this Saturday.
I was going to say, like, forgot that we play on Saturday.
Saturday. It is
homecoming.
It is homecoming. It is at 12 o'clock. This team deserves to have a very nice crowd there. It is an affordable game. It is a noon game. You don't have to spend your whole night trying to sit in traffic in the parking garage, okay? So I'm very much trying to advocate for as many people as possible to go, to please be there and support these guys. They're going to rack some stats up. It's going to be a great day. We're going to end up 7-0 after this game. And it's homecoming. So these guys need all the support. They deserve the hell out of it. Let's make sure that we show up and give them that support. Give them what they deserve.
I don't think it's going to be an issue getting people on the stage Saturday for that game, especially considering we're the number 3 team in the country. So I'm sure it'll be slam packed. It'll be awesome. They'll do a pretty cool tribute about Pat Summitt, I'm sure, since we play UT Martin. And, good old tribute to Smokey as well, since his last game was last Saturday. It'll be a great game for sure. And I'm looking forward to, seeing us win, 95-0. So.
Yeah, it's hard for me to hate on a UT system school, but if I had to, it'd probably be Ty Simpson's dad. He's the head coach over at UT Martin. Overall, their offense is pretty impressive. Quarterback having a great year. It's kind of like a mini Hendo Cinco, it looks like with his stats. Really impressive stats. I think, we'll have our hands full maybe for a quarter or two, but we're definitely going to be 7-0. Good cause. Let's show out for the team. It's been a long time since we've been 6-0, and to say they're number 3 team in the country, like definitely need to show out, give them a good welcome. I know we got a huge next week. We've kind of been exhausted by really huge games, but just go out there and show out, man. Like, go out there and give it all, and let's just go out there and get another W. I think it's going to be huge to see for the future as well after we put up some points. So I want to see some guys, get deeper in the rotations and see some younger freshmen get in. So really interested to see that. Definitely going to be there and really excited for that. It's the decade of the Vols, beat Bama, and I just don't give a whole damn about the state. So
not only go deeper into the rotation, but definitely get our starters a rest. I mean, they've been going through it 2 weeks straight, and then we got 2 straight more weeks after this game. But yeah, get them out as quickly as possible. Let the backups get some burn, like you was saying, and like the good old Florida Gator killer himself said, treat UT Martin like it's UT Martin. Go out there, win a game, and then go home and enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. I mean, when have we been in a position to actually, like, quote unquote take weeks off? Like, I remember I was watching the LSU game, and it was over before it even started. And I was just laying on the couch watching the game, just enjoying my day. And I was like, when have I ever watched a UT football game against a top 25 team on the road and, like, actually laid on the couch? I'm usually, like, in the TV. Like, I'm actually in the play. I'm so close to the TV. Never have I been that way. So I'm hoping this Saturday is the same.
Absolutely, guys. Like I said, we could go on forever. I know many of our podcasts are just going to come back to these moments because we're always going to circle back to this. But yeah, get out there, pack it out. We have everything in the world to be excited about in every sport, but right now it's freaking college football. This is the greatest time. This is the best time of my life to be sitting at this moment right now. I'm not even joking. I don't give a shit if anyone thinks that sounds ridiculous. Like, this is everything I've ever wanted, and it's here. So let's enjoy it. Soak it all in. If you feel like chugging a bottle of Tito's on a Wednesday,
oh my God. Yeah, we're back, bro.
It's everything we've been ever waiting for. And I'm on wine, so I'm not as hardcore as Brando is this evening. But this is it. Let's go cheer them on Saturday. Let's have an awesome freaking time. Let's get the win. And then let's look ahead to Kentucky. And that's going to be a fire-ass game, too. There's a lot of stuff going on then, but we'll talk about that more next week. Does anyone else have anything else to add?
We don't give a thing about the whole town of Martin, Tennessee, at least for this.
We put the nation on notice. We're back. If you don't think we're going to the playoffs and winning the Natty at this point, you're just delusional. It's a realistic take. Deal with it. Hendon Hooker is the Heisman candidate. He is the Heisman. And we're going to go out there and take care of business, man. Like, we're back. This offense is unstoppable, and I think this team is too. So
Alabama fans are reaching for straws, trying to still find a way to beat us in that game. And
meanwhile, their
head coaches across the country are telling recruits not to show up to our games because they are scared that we might impress them. When have we been there? We haven't in our time on this great earth, God's green earth. I don't even know what else to say. Just go Vols. That's all I got.
I freaking love it, guys. We're at the top. We're staying at the top. We're just getting started. Make sure to pack it out Saturday. Show the guys that we love them. We support them. We love the staff. We love everything about it. I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what else to say. So until next week, keep reading all of the sad Alabama fans and their terrible tweets and their hysterical.
Stop the steal.
Yeah, stop the steal. They want to replay. It's freaking hilarious, the meltdown. Keep looking at it, living it up. Stay on cloud 9 and go support our guys Saturday. And that's all we have for you tonight. Like I said, we go on for hours, but we are going to sign off. So good night and go Vols.
You're out and go Vols.